You know, in the world of technology, some years are just years, dates on a calendar. But 2026, that is shaping up to be a genuine turning point. We're talking about the moment AI moves beyond the labs, beyond all the hype, and really becomes a fundamental building block for all of us.
And I want you to pay close attention to that phrase, institutional stewardship. That's a huge deal. It's a signal that we are moving past the wow factor of what AI can do. The era of just building cool tech demos, that's kind of coming to an end. Now, the era of asking, how do we responsibly weave this into our companies, our laws, and our lives? Well, that's just beginning.
So, to frame this whole shift, let's just ask a simple question. What if the power to create and deploy artificial intelligence wasn't just for PhDs and these elite coders? What if it was in the hands of millions of people? Because that right there is exactly what's starting to happen.
Which leads us to the first and honestly, maybe the most important part of this whole story. The explosion of access to AI. This is all about taking the keys to the kingdom from a very small group of specialists and, well, handing them out to pretty much everyone. So let's get a clear definition for our key term here, AI democratization. The best way to think about it is like this. For years, AI was like this giant, super complex industrial machine. You needed a specialist just to turn it on. What's happening now is that it's becoming more like a set of power tools, still incredibly capable for sure, but designed to be picked up and used by almost anyone. And look, this isn't just a theory. The numbers here are absolutely staggering. By early 2026, foundational courses like Andrew Ng's AI for Everyone have enrolled over 2.3 million learners. This is not a small trend, it's a massive global movement towards AI literacy.
And this gets to the real heart of it all. The goal isn't to turn every marketer or operations manager into a coder. Nope. The goal is to close the skill gap, to empower the domain experts, the people who actually understand the business problems, to build their own AI solutions.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how is it actually happening? What are these specific tools and technologies that are prying open this once locked box? Well, it turns out it's a perfect storm of three key innovations.
It really boils down to three key drivers. First, you've got the no-code revolution, which lets you build things visually. Second, there's a major shift happening towards smaller, more specialized AI models. And third, we're seeing the rise of what people are calling agentic AI. These are AI systems that can take a goal and work on their own to achieve it, almost like a digital employee. Let's start with that first one.
First up is the no-code revolution. Think of platforms like the ones you see here. With something like Bubble, you can build a really complex web app without writing a single line of code. With Zapier, down at the bottom, you can automate your entire marketing workflow. These are total game changers because they shift the focus from how you build something to what you want to build. Second, and this is really critical, is this big architectural shift. For a while, the race was all about building these massive, general-purpose models trained on the entire internet, a jack-of-all-trades, if you will. But by 2026, we're seeing the rise of smaller, specialized models. These are trained on high-quality, very specific data. They're cheaper, way more efficient, and can often run directly on your phone or laptop. That's what Edge AI is. They're not a jack-of-all-trades, they're an expert in one specific thing. So we have the tools, and we have the models. But what does this mean for people, for jobs, for you? This is where the story gets really, really exciting, because it's not about the technology itself, but about this new wave of innovators it's creating.
I want you to meet the citizen innovator. This isn't your R&D specialist or a data scientist. No, this is the frontline employee, the marketing associate, the person who deeply understands the customer or the workflow. And now they can use these simple tools to build solutions, test ideas, and create new value for their company.
And this is happening at a massive scale. Gartner forecasts that by 2026, over 80% of enterprises will have used generative AI models or APIs in some form. This is no longer some niche activity. It's fast becoming a standard business practice.
And this isn't just theoretical. Look at what is already happening out there. In North America, you've got store managers, not data scientists, building their own AI models to predict what their local customers are going to buy. In France, a small fintech firm built a whole customer service chatbot in just weeks, not months. And in India, solo entrepreneurs are using AI to create marketing materials that look like they came from a massive corporation. This is innovation from the ground up, and it's happening everywhere.
But, and this is a big but, democratizing this kind of power isn't without its challenges. With great access comes great responsibility, and this flood of new capabilities is forcing us all to confront some very difficult questions about governance and ethics.
This quote right here perfectly captures the necessary shift in mindset. The old Silicon Valley mantra of move fast and break things, that is just way too dangerous when you apply it to powerful AI. The new rule for 2026 and beyond has to be move wisely and earn trust. And this raises probably the thorniest question of all. When an AI makes a mistake, who's to blame? Seriously, if an AI denies someone a loan because it used biased data, is that the fault of the original programmer? The bank that deployed the software? The loan officer who just clicked the button? Right now, the lines of accountability are dangerously blurry.
And these specific challenges are immense. We've got issues of data, like privacy and intellectual property. We've got issues of fairness, like algorithmic bias that can just amplify old prejudices. We've got issues of truth, with deepfakes threatening to undermine our shared sense of reality. These are not sci-fi problems anymore. These are 2026 problems.
This brings us to the final major theme that's shaping 2026. It's a philosophical and a technical battle over what the future of AI development should even look like. It's really a tale of two competing models.
So on one side, you have the open source world. Think of these like public utilities. They're transparent, they're customizable, and they're usually cheaper. The whole community can audit them and improve them. On the other side, you have the proprietary closed models. These are the high-performance premium options. You get top-tier security and support, but a lot less transparency. It's that classic trade-off between control and power.
But here's the thing. What's becoming crystal clear is this isn't an either-or battle. The smartest companies in 2026 are building a hybrid strategy. They're using the right tool for the right job. Maybe a cheap open-source model for a low-stakes task like summarizing internal notes, but then a powerful, secure, proprietary model for handling sensitive customer data.
So, after exploring all of this, what's the big takeaway? What's the one thing to remember? It's that as the tools of AI are democratized, so is the responsibility for using them wisely. Stewardship is no longer just the job of a few big tech companies. It's a burden and an opportunity that we all now share.
And this quote, I think, just brings it all home. This whole story, this whole democratization, it isn't about replacing people. It's about amplifying them. It's about giving that marketer, that store manager, that entrepreneur a brand new set of tools to extend their own intelligence and their own creativity.
Which leaves us with one final and I think crucial question. Now that this incredible power is becoming accessible to everyone, to you, what will you build with it? What problems will you solve? The future of AI is no longer something that's just happening to us, it's something we are all about to create together.